Anybody that's watched any of the older videos, you'll see that my mum died when I was 7 years old. She was diagnosed as breast cancer when I was 5, and me and my brother were brought to live with my nan and granddad in Wigston due to some family issues. But my mum, unfortunately, she passed away when we were 7. Now, I've said this in a few other videos that I believe in. We all have our religious beliefs, but I believe that there is a higher power out there that I will see my mum again. 100% believe that. What also I believe in, I don't want to use the word. Okay, this is difficult to explain. I've spoke about this in different videos, but to put it all into one video, because I've spent the last load of videos trying to get up to this stage where we're all up to date with things. But I believe that when I've been in some deep trouble, somehow my mum has got me out of it. That's my own personal belief. Now, some example of that was okay. So the biggest example I've got was a friend of mine wanted to go to this toy shop because we just found out through the grapevine that the new top trump cards were being released, and they were Superman top trump cards. So of course I've got to get these. This is how my memory works. £2.50 they were. My nan gave me the money, and we ran to the shop to go and buy them. Now, the main road in Wigston, all we had to do was go a little bit to the right. Would have taken us about 15 seconds, get the traffic lights, go over, come back on ourselves, go to the shop, to where we'd come out on the road. No, I decided I was going to cut straight across the road to get me to the toy shop quicker. I was hit by a Ford Sierra. I'll never forget it. It was a blue Ford Sierra. As I went across the road, this Ford Sierra came crashing into me, and I went onto his bonnet and then onto the floor. Now, these were back in the days that we didn't have cameras, and this Ford Sierra drove off. So it was a hit and run. So I've been involved in a hit and run. I swear to God, this is a true story. I'm not making this up. This is a true story. Now, this old lady came running over and she said, oh my God, are you okay? You okay? And then she helped me to my feet. I said, yeah, I'm absolutely fine. She said, you need to go to hospital. I said, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. And then I legged it in towards a toy shop. Now, what was most scary about that story is I daren't tell my nan and granddad this story because we didn't use the traffic lights, and we were taught to use the traffic lights, and I didn't. And I didn't want to tell them I was hit by a car because I didn't use the traffic lights. And they came out the shop. In the shop, the Superman Trump cards were not there. It turned out to be a complete total sodding lie. They were Marvel cards. Nobody cares about Marvel. So that day, I should have died. Well, I think I should have. I mean, I literally did roll off of the guy's bonnet, and I still can't believe the guy drove off. The lad I was with at the time, a guy called Jamie, he said, you've got to tell your nan, you've got to tell your nan. I said, no, I'm certainly not doing that. You keep that quiet, otherwise you're going to get a slap. So we never told anybody that. But it was one of those days that I'll always remember. Another time that I should have died, where we lived in Wigston, which is now a whole housing estate, there was this park, an urban park with all these climbing frames on it, traditional old metal climbing frames, and there was one in the shape of a big elephant. So I thought because I was invincible, I could jump from one side of the elephant to the other, swing on its tusk, and then land on my feet. Well, I didn't. I hit the tusk, lost grip, and went down head first onto concrete, bang, down. I was fine. A slight headache and a bit of a graze, but again, I was absolutely fine. And there's loads of different stories like that. That I believe that in time of trouble, my mum has got me out of that. Which is why one of the reasons I'm not scared to pass over this world and go into the next, because I believe I will meet her again and get an absolute bollocking for all the stupid things I've done. I've done many things that are stupid. My mum also has a sense of humour, and I said this in one of the early videos as well, that I've just recently been diagnosed as terminal from the guy in OB. He said that was terminal, you need to get you into law, Ross. That's okay. So, but the very next day I heard that news, I was on a networking event in London. It's the hottest day of the year. It felt like the hottest day of the year. It was absolutely miserable on the trains and the tubes, and the tube broke down. Anyway, it's not relevant. But on the way back, I'd managed to, at the networking meeting, I'd managed to get quite a few connections for Elite Law. And as I got back into Luton, which is where I parked my car, I was walking to my car and I just kept thinking to myself, I love this job. I absolutely love this job. And I think I'm okay at it. I think I can bring something to the table here. It's a bit ironic that after 20 years being an estate agent, I'm now doing this job which I absolutely adore, being given the responsibility to expand this professional solicitors firm out by meeting new people and new contacts, just to die. How does that work? So I was walking to the car and I said, look, because I talk to my mum a lot. I said, look, mum, you gotta sort this out. This terminal's got to be bollocks. You need to help me out here. You need to give me some sort of sign to say that this isn't true, that something's going to happen, and I'm not going to be leaving this world anytime soon. I looked to my left, and there was the Co-op funeral services. And then I looked up to the sky and I went, you taking the piss or you just being funny? And obviously we go on to get some good news later after that. But it's those sort of things that if you're going through this journey, or you know somebody that is going through this journey, when I say to you, you don't need to be alone. There are friends and family you could reach out on. But one of my pillars of strength will always be my family. Everything Belinda's done for me is incredible. But one of my core pillars of strength is my mum. I call upon her help whenever I'm feeling down or low, or I get some bad news, and I try and talk to her about it. But I do generally believe that, and I believe that is a huge source of power to get me through this journey. I'm not talking like Superman's power or He-Man's power, calling upon some power to make me extra strong or some crap like that. I'm talking about the power to survive, to fight. Now, your body's one big tool. I mean, you cut yourself, it repairs itself. Why can't it repair this? Okay, it's a bit more complicated. But when you're negative, when you feel down, your body's going to feel down. But when you're positive and you feel strong, your body will feel strong. You just got to ride that train and never give up. I've got a big meeting happening on Thursday with my oncologist. See what's going on there and get his take on things, and then we'll see where we go. So I look forward to seeing another video.